Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Off-Farm Income Podcast. Hey, thank you so much for joining us here on our YouTube channel for episode number 1103. Well, today we are going to be talking about some major FFA accomplishments. Caitlyn Mack is joining us from Drummond High School in Drummond, Oklahoma. She just graduated. She's been accepted to go to Oklahoma State University. She's got a National Proficiency Award in grain production and just became the Oklahoma State Star Farmer. And obviously, she's going to be seeking her American degree and trying to become the American Star Farmer. Just a wonderful interview with a great young lady who is accomplishing a ton, paying her own way, farming over 200 acres of her own that she is leasing and paying for with her own money. Love these types of stories, always inspirational. They seem to always be out of Oklahoma, and we're going to get it started for you right now. Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very well. Really appreciate you coming on the show. And before I forget to do it, I need to say congratulations, State Star Farmer in the state of Oklahoma. That's pretty incredible. So, Caitlyn, I would love to spend some time just asking about you and kind of getting to know what you and your life is like before we jump into the FFA stuff. Would that be okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well, so where are we recording this from right now? Are you at home?
Yes, I'm at home.
Okay. And is that on a farm? Is that in town? Something in between those two?
We live on a farm just a couple miles on the outside of Drummond.
Oh, okay. And what kind of farming do you guys do there?
We do no-till and conventional, and then we also have cow-calf operation.
Okay. So you're doing it all, everything.
Yes.
Okay. And is this a piece of property that's been in your family for some time?
Yes, it has. We've lived here for around 15 years.
Oh, 15 years. Okay. So it's not necessarily multi-generational, meaning it doesn't go back, like through great-grandparents or something like that.
Oh, no. We used to actually live in Carrier, and then we moved here to Drummond when I was probably about 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, very interesting. So did your parents then, they started the first farming endeavor in the family, or how did that work?
No, my grandpa actually farms, and then his mom and dad actually farms. So I am a 5th generation farmer.
Okay. All right. I think it's coming into focus for me. Okay. Very good. Now, how long have you been part of the FFA?
I've been part of the FFA since 8th grade year.
8th grade. So you were able to begin in middle school. I'm seeing that more and more all the time. What drew you in? Why did you want to join?
Being around agriculture my entire life, I knew coming 8th grade year, we had FFA at our school, and having the opportunities and seeing all the proficiency awards and all the competitions that I could go compete in, I knew that in showing livestock, because I also show livestock, so that really touched close to my heart because I love to show goats and cattle.
Okay.
I also used to show sheep, but 3 species was a lot to handle at one point in time. So being a part of FFA, I knew was going to be great.
Okay. Well, good. And now, did I read correctly that you served as your chapter's president for 3 years?
Yes, I served as the chapter president from 2018 to this last year.
All right. I think that's a record, at least on the Off-Farm Income podcast. I don't know that I've ever interviewed anybody who served as president for 3 years. I think I have for 2, but not for 3. How did you wind up doing that for 3 years?
So my older brother, Clayton, he is 8 years older than me, and I knew a little bit of family competition. He led the chapter really well, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of that. I knew I wanted to be the president and show younger members about no matter what role you have, whether you're the president or the sentinel, because I was a sentinel my freshman year, you can still make an impact. But by being the president, I was able to plan more meetings with my fellow other FFA officers to get younger members involved. We always do a back to school bash at the beginning of the year, which is a super fun time to have people come and get together, and all the kids can play, and the little 7th and 8th graders, they get to meet all the upperclassmen, and it's just a really great time.
So I'm picturing a small school here.
It's a very small school.
Okay. With you, I mean, was that weird for you to become president as a sophomore and be running the chapter when there's juniors and seniors in the chapter?
Yes, I was very nervous. I had a lot of pressure on me. I didn't want to mess up. I wanted to make sure I made a good impact, especially with me being a sophomore.
And then normally what I've seen, and not that there's any rules here or that one way's better than the other, but normally what I've seen is that the officers, those positions turn over every year. But with you, you repeated as president. So I think that was what I was kind of trying to find out is how did that occur that you were able to repeat as president every single or for 3 years in
Have
a row?
officer interviews every year, and we always go in. We have a panel of 3 judges. So
Uh-huh.
you go in, you have a resume, and you have to have references also.
Okay.
So you go into the interview, and yeah, I
They kept
did
picking
well
you.
enough that I was able to be president.
They kept picking you. Okay. Oh, well, good for you. Well, that's quite an accomplishment, which is just one of the many you've got on your list here. So really, really cool. Now, we already talked about the fact that you're the Oklahoma State Star Farmer, and again, we'll come back to that. But prior to that, you won a proficiency in grain production. Is that right?
Yes, I did. In 2019, I was actually a national finalist in grain production.
No kidding. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. I want to acknowledge your FFA advisor. Do you just have one at Drummond?
Yes, we just have one.
Who is that?
Keith Billingham.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much for mentioning Mr. Dillingham. We have got a lot to unpack with what you've been doing for your supervised agricultural experience. So, national finalist in grain production, and then Star Farmer. Tell us about, just give us the 30,000 foot overview of everything you've been doing farming wise.
So I've actually started farming. Well, basically, as in my family, as soon as you can reach the pedals on a tractor, your farming career begins.
Okay.
Whether we are riding in the tractor or when we are actually able to start driving it on our own, I started out with just renting a few places here and there with a couple of my family members. My family and I farm around 10,000 acres.
Hmm.
And over the years, I actually partner with my grandpa and my younger brother, Connor. He's 15. And so, but then this year, last year, I recently got some new land up at Goldtree. And that brought my total of my acreage for me personally to 227 acres of
Hmm.
my own personal farmland, which I thought that was pretty exciting because I paid for all the expenses on my own. I have a crop that I can make a profit off of. And then, along with all the other farming that we do, we also have a cow calf operation. And I also have a few hairless sheep that I do just to kind of as grass eaters to clean up around the grain bins and stuff. And we also use them for market purposes.
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So you've been paying all the expenses on your farm ground, your lease, all of that. How did you do that? How did you get started doing that?
So I work for my two uncles and my grandpa during the summer. Along with helping them farm and stuff, I also work for my dad and my older brother Clayton. I get paid by the hour to help them farm, which using that income that I make, it helps me pay for my farm expenses as well as the income that I make off the crop that year.
Okay. Now, when I was your age, man, I can't believe I'm old enough to make that statement, but I am. When I was your age and I got a job, because I had a job since I was 14, actually a little bit younger than that, but I always spent my money. I saved a little, but I bought a pickup. I paid it off. I did stuff like that. What I did not do is I didn't roll the money I was making into another enterprise like farming or entrepreneurship or something like that. What motivates you to do that rather than just spend your money?
I see it as so I also show livestock, as I
Okay.
mentioned earlier, and I pay for the animals that I want to show. So I show goats and cattle. So I pay for both of those whenever I go to a place of business to buy some new ones. So I see it as I want to save up money so I can get a better show steer or get a better show goat. I plan on attending Oklahoma State University this year because I just graduated. I want to have enough money to continue my education as well as being able to pay for my farmland. So that way I'm not in debt right off of going into college. I just really see it as something how the older I get in life, it has taught me how to manage my money so I can potentially buy a house or a different car or anything else.
Okay, you're weird, but in a very, very good way. Really, really good weird. I'm just wondering, you know, where did that lesson come from? Maybe, probably your parents, maybe your grandparents, somebody mentoring you going, look, you could go spend this money right now, but you could go plant, 50 acres of wheat or whatever. And when you harvest that wheat, you're going to have 3 times the money you've got right now, or somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but there has to be a mentor in there somewhere, I would assume.
Yes, my mom and dad, and also my grandpa, have played a big role in telling me about how I need to make sure that I save my money up so that way in the future I'm able to pay for what I want or essentially need.
Okay. Well, good. That's wonderful. And you're doing so well. I want to ask you about these show animals. So you were showing sheep, cattle, and goats. You had to cut one of them out. You chose to cut out the sheep. Why'd you choose sheep?
So, sheep and goats can be very similar but very different. They're both not very smart animals, which I don't really know if any show animal really is, besides maybe a pig. Not sure. Never showed pigs. But anyway, um, so the reason why I chose to cut out sheep was because, along with buying my own show steer and show goats, it just became a little bit too expensive for me to be able to buy all three animals and keep up with the game to be able to place high enough in the class.
Okay. All right. My daughter shows sheep. It's the one animal we don't raise on our farm. We have goats, pigs, cattle. She wants to show sheep. I don't know why it went that way, but it went that way. And I feel like that sheep are the lowest intelligence of show animals. I'm just going to try and say it in a very, very nice way. But there's a video out there. I should repost it on my Facebook page of a lamb that somebody has trenched out, a long trench along the side of a field, and this lamb has gotten stuck in it. Now that's reasonable, right? It's totally reasonable that this lamb gets stuck. Have you seen this video?
No, I don't think I have.
All right. So this lamb is stuck in this trench. So somebody's videoing it as they get a rope around its hind leg and they pull this lamb out of this trench. They get the rope off of it. The lamb takes off running like lambs do, launches into the air, head first right back into the same trench about 20 feet down the row, and is stuck again. And then when I need a laugh, I watch that video. And when I go, why am I happy? My daughter's no longer showing sheep. I watch that video because it completely. So that's what I thought of when you said you had to pick and you quit showing sheep. I thought of that video right there. Like, yeah, I get it. Okay. Okay. So Star Farmer, proficiency in grain production. Now, the grain production, I said wheat earlier, but I was just making an assumption. Was I right? Are you growing wheat? What are you growing?
Yes, grain production is wheat.
Is wheat. Okay. And on the farming side, the row crop side or the no-till side, is wheat exclusively what you're growing, or do you have other crops?
We actually do a crop rotation on the new piece of land that I recently started leasing or renting last year. I planted Milo on it, which I am currently planting Milo right now.
Okay.
So we do Milos, soybeans, we've done sesame and canola.
All right. Now, when it comes to the cow-calf herd, is that exclusively family, or do you have some cattle of your own?
I have cattle of my own, and I also help with my family.
Okay. So in your herd, are you doing anything like direct marketing or anything like that, or is it just a straight cow-calf operation? Calves are all getting shipped in the fall. How's that all work?
So I actually do some embryo transfer and artificial insemination to improve my herd genetics so that way I can increase feed efficiencies.
Oh, really? Okay. And so you're synchronizing recipients and donors and doing all of that type of stuff. Wow, you've got a lot going on. Do you have activity outside of agriculture?
I played basketball in high school.
Wow. Okay, you're a busy person. Very busy. What position?
I was either the wing or like the post.
Okay. Huh. Interesting stuff. All right. So you are off to Oklahoma State University here in a couple months. You're studying animal science and ag education. So not agronomy, not crop production. So you've made your choice. It's livestock for you.
Yes.
Okay. How come?
Being around all the animals, and my uncle is actually a veterinarian down in Edmond. He's an equine vet.
Okay.
So I've kind of always been around that, and I really like to be in on the surgeries or just the fact of helping an animal get better with the use of medicine.
Awesome. Now you're double majoring, ag education as well. Does that mean you're leaving the door open to come back to the classroom? What are the thoughts there?
Yes, I have thought about being an ag teacher. I really enjoy showing younger members whether they want to do a speech or whether they want to be a part of a welding contest about how many opportunities FFA has to give you. You will have a better work ethic whenever you go into the workforce. Your public speaking skills will improve tremendously,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a really great opportunity.
Okay. Yeah, very good. And but it sounds to me like you've got options open. Ag teacher possibly, veterinarian possibly. Is there any chance you're going to be a full-time farmer in the future?
Yes, I'm going to, along with my either veterinarian work that I plan on doing or becoming an ag teacher, I plan on staying here close to home, hopefully, and continuing my farming career.
Awesome. Now, in terms of the FFA, will you be seeking your American degree?
Yes, I will.
Awesome. And then what about the fact that you are the Oklahoma State Star Farmer? Are you going to be pursuing a National Star Farmer Award or American Star Farmer, I should say?
I am. I'm going to pursue that.
That's great, man. What a lofty goal. We'll be interviewing you again when you're a candidate for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Really, really interesting. Well, Caitlyn, I am very excited for you. What a great time in your life, just graduating high school, all these awards, these accolades, building your farming career, and then launching into college. It's very, very exciting. I would love to ask your advice for students that are coming behind you. And I think the one thing I want to know is for those students who think maybe they want to be chapter president, but they think I have to wait till I'm a junior, or I have to wait till I'm a senior or something like that. Talk to them about being bold enough to go for it that early in your FFA career.
I would definitely say whether you're scared to do a speech because you're not a good public speaker, or you don't want to go to this contest because you don't think you're going to do very good, or the chapter president position, you're competing against 2 or 3 other seniors. I would encourage them that think to yourself, what is the best thing for you and what is going to help you grow and become a better you that you can be. My freshman year, whenever I was trying out for president as a sophomore, I sent in my application. Interviews came around at the end of my freshman year, going to be a sophomore. There's 3 other seniors in the room that tried out for the same thing. And the thoughts that were going through my head was, I'm a sophomore. They're not going to choose me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the seniors are going to do it because it's their last year. I went in there and I told them everything I knew. I was myself. I didn't try and act like this some person, somebody else, or anything like that. And I made sure that I did the best that I possibly could. Well, turns out that it actually worked in my favor, thankfully. And then it was actually my first speech contest. I was not a good public speaker whatsoever. I was terrified to talk in front of crowds. But over time, I actually started to enjoy it. And along with the competitions, I was scared that I wasn't going to place well. But I had other FFA members there that were encouraging me, saying, come on, like, let's go do this. You've got this.
Mm-hmm.
It was just more of like the mind over matter kind of thing. You have to make sure that you tell yourself that you are good enough. And even if you do fail, it will help you grow in the long run. And you always just tell yourself, I'll try again tomorrow.
Awesome. Great advice. Very excited for you, Caitlyn. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us today.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here, everybody. And thank you to Caitlyn Mack for joining us here on the Off-Farm Income Podcast today. Hey, we'd love to have you click that subscribe button down below and become a subscriber to our YouTube channel. And we would love to connect with you on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, everybody. And until next time, enjoy your journey to the ultimate lifestyle business, agriculture.